Wuchang Fallen Feathers patch 1.5 is here, and oh boy, it's a weird one. There's a lot to unpack in this patch, so let's dive right in. If you were to just bring up the patch notes for version 1.5, you'd probably read the list of bug fixes and adjustments and think that most of them were either fine, good, or relatively innocuous. There was a slight adjustment made to the invincibility frames when Wuchang was knocked down, which I think is actually a great change, as you could sometimes take cheap hits after getting knocked down due to Wuchang being very slow to get up. Her healing animation has been sped up, which is also great, as Wuchang has always had a fairly slow healing animation compared to most other Souls-likes. They fixed some audio stutter, addressed a bunch of bugs, made traps less punishing and less frequent, made the elevator in Chapter 5 faster, and there's a bunch of adjustments made to prepare for future updates down the road. But then you have some confusing notes, like made adjustments to animations, values, and level design for certain NPCs and AI, added dialogue for some NPCs to complete some plots. We will further optimize the exhaustion animations in the future to improve the plot performance, and fixed the faction bug in Chapter 4, adjusted the level design, and increased the performance effect of BVB, and added some Wuchang voice to complete the story, and added some NPC dialogues. What does any of that mean? Well, thanks to Twitter user ManFightDragon, Lance McDonald, the picture starts to come into view. LOL Wuchang patch notes say they optimized the exhaustion animation for certain NPCs, and what they mean is they made it so that you can no longer kill any historically significant bosses or NPCs, and instead they just get exhausted and relax after the fight and talk to you. Sure enough, when I went back into my save and fought the Ming General Liu Chengen, after defeating him, he just kinda remains there with a few extra lines of dialogue.
While your foundation is solid, your trials are far from over.
After resting at the shrine, he moves there and just stays praying with a few other lines of dialogue.
You may not be one of us, but the feathering has marked you. Proceed onward, and the city god will consider you nothing more than a monster. While I cannot stop you, I also cannot provide assistance. Go in peace.
Not only that, but they've now made it so that the typically weak farmer NPCs that would typically cower away when you approach them and would occasionally throw rocks at you are no longer targetable and cannot be killed. McDonald also claims that Chapter 4 is insanely easy now because 50% of the enemies are non-hostile during the rebellion outbreak. So, what gives? Well, there's some backstory that can help at least bring some context behind these changes, and it involves some many negative reviews for Wuchang on Steam. Basically, what happened is that there are many Chinese players that are very upset at the portrayal of Chinese history presented in Wuchang. Now, I'm no expert on Chinese history myself, but as I understand it, the issue is that the story of this game takes place in 1600s China at the end of the Ming Dynasty, the last dynasty ruled by the Han Chinese, which was overthrown by the Manchurians, who then established the Qing Dynasty. But Manchurians are mysteriously nowhere to be found in Wuchang. In fact, all of the real-life historical figures that Wuchang could fight and kill are Han Chinese from the Ming Dynasty. This has led to criticism over the game's treatment of its Ming characters, leading to a large outpouring of negative reviews, on top of reviews that also criticize the PC version for performance problems and a few other unrelated issues. This new update has made it so that you cannot kill any of the Ming historical figures, nor any Ming-affiliated characters in general, which has now caused another group of players to respond angrily due to the censorship that this patch now adds in. Personally, I've not yet reached Chapter 4 in my replay of Wuchang yet, so I can't comment on how easy it is now, but I do genuinely think that the changes made to the dodges, the healing animation, and the reduction of the number of mines in Cloudspire are all great changes that smooth over some of the edges of Wuchang's difficulty and remove a lot of frustrations without taking away the satisfaction of overcoming its most difficult challenges. The other stuff is, well, it's weird to say the least. And that's Wuchang patch 1.5. What do you think? Let us know in the comments, and for everything else, keep it here on IGN.